Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to be looking at the subreddit r/maliciouscompliance, where people conform to the letter but not the spirit of a request. If you're new around here, please do hit subscribe down below so that you never miss out on another video. But for now, let's sit back, relax and enjoy some malicious compliance. Senior management implement new sick absence policy. Never been one to take time off sick leave despite having a public sector job that pays full pay for up to 6 months of sick absence. 18 years in the same job and only 3 periods of actual sick leave in that time. Anytime I was feeling a bit under the weather, I would have to ring the office and use a day's annual leave, get some rest, over-the-counter meds, and an early night ready to be back at work the next day. A number of years ago, the powers that be, for some still unknown reason, decreed that this was to stop. If you were sick, you must be put on a sick leave, and you could not book a day's annual leave. A while after this policy was implemented, I awoke feeling none too clever. I rang into the office to inform my boss that I was sick. He said that was okay, thanks for letting him know. See you in the morning. I replied by asking, "What do you mean? I'm sick. I don't know when I'll be feeling well enough to come back to work." This seemed to surprise him somewhat. I informed him that when I was feeling well enough to return to work, I would let him know. Cue the obligatory 7-day self-certified sick absence, off work on full pay, and not a day's annual leave used. Unsurprisingly, this policy did not stand the test of time. Am I reading this wrong, or did they say they have full pay for up to 6 months of sick absence? Does that mean 6 months in the year they get full pay for not going into work? Or am I reading this wrong? Want me to work faster? You're the boss. Some context. Basically, my job is to scan items and make sure they have the correct price. Due to having multiple vendors, sometimes the same 2 items can have a different price. So, I have to scan thousands of items individually. On paper, this is supposed to be my only responsibility, but somewhere down the line, the bosses decided I should also have to clean up and fix destroyed tags along the way. Not a huge addition, but it can cut into time if the area's been trashed. Spoiler alert, it's always trashed. For the record, there is supposed to be a team specifically for doing that. They just usually do other tasks instead. Now, I'm supposed to be a part of a 3-person team, but more often than not, it's either 2 or just me because the others decide they don't want to come in for whatever reason. When this happens, the bosses are supposed to send someone over to help, otherwise we fall behind. Well, last month, we had a huge list of items that needed to be scanned, but I was the only one able to do it. My team members didn't show up, and there was an issue with the truck that required all other hands on deck. Thanks to a lack of hours, staying late or coming in on a day off was not an option. So, surprise surprise, we fell behind and have been trying to catch up ever since. So yesterday, boss comes up to me and lectures me about how we need to start working faster because corporate is getting angry about how far behind we are. She doesn't want to hear about how I've been working with little to no help, she just wants it done faster. Okay, you want it done fast? Fast is what you'll get. So I do exactly what I was originally hired to do. Scan the items. I don't clean up, I don't make things look nice and neat. If a barcode's been damaged, I leave it. If they want it clean, they can make the team in charge of the area do so. Surprise surprise, scanning gets finished much faster. Bosses likely won't be happy, but they won't be able to say I wasn't doing as I was told. I feel like everyone will want an update to this, but I presume the update will just be, "Oh, why aren't you doing that?" And the guy's just gonna be like, "Well, that's not my job." And that's just gonna be how it goes. Free water bottle. A small malicious compliance, but still made me smile. Today at work, the company I work for decided to give all of their employees a free hydro flask. Think fancy metal water bottle. Naturally, everyone was excited about it, and they were passed out right before lunch. I went home during lunch to make a sandwich and took my new bottle home to wash it and write my name on it, with permanent marker, I might add. I accidentally left it on my drying rack. Shortly after returning to work, there was a company-wide email saying all of the water bottles were being recalled due to a technical issue and needed to be returned by the end of the day, no exceptions. I called HR, they were in charge of the water bottle distribution, and explained that I left my bottle at home and I could get it to them first thing tomorrow morning. Apparently, this was not acceptable. They all needed to be returned today, etc, etc. So I drove home, grabbed my water bottle from the drying rack, watched an episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, drove back to work, and returned it to HR. Along with the water bottle, I gave them an expense report for the mileage for driving home and back to get it. HR was not amused, but I reminded them that this was on-the-clock driving that was required by the company. Looks like I'll be getting paid my normal wage, plus mileage to return a water bottle that has my name written on it, and watch some Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Why would they need to recall all the water bottles for a technical issue? Because I don't see what could be so technical about a water bottle. Just delete it all? Can do. When you work as an independent, you need to learn how to charge for your work. You also have to learn to deal with the people that insist on not wanting to pay for what you do. When I worked as to-go tech for a major telecom company in my country, I also took the time to ask my appointees if they wanted my contact information, in case they needed someone to fix their computers. This after-work side hustle really helped me pay the bills, because for some reason, working for a major telecom company just doesn't pay the bills the way it should. Most of the people I picked up as clients were good, decent, respectful folk. This is a story of Louis, who was not that kind of person. Okay, so Louis had computer problems. He calls me one day saying, "My computer won't turn on." It's a Sunday morning and was hoping for a quiet day of contemplation before returning to my wondering. Louis, however, was very insistent that I go over there now, and that he would pay extra if I fix his problem as fast as possible, because he is a busy man. This is good because I am super broke. Now, Louis is almost a perfect stereotype. Massive ego, a notable disregard for the concerns of lesser people, and almost null capacity to listen to people who know what they are doing. Charming guy. I still don't know why his previous tech guy ghosted him. Anyhow, apparently his computer won't turn on. Turns out it did, but Windows would just not load. Turns out the file system was damaged, and I have to take it home to assess the damage and format. "Just fix it." He cuts me off when I try to explain the damage. He has a meeting in like half an hour and doesn't have time for this. After a quick check, I can tell the hard drive is fine, still has a couple of years left in him. I still need to format or it won't work. So I call Louis super fast to explain myself again. It's just a format. It's just gonna take me some time to do the backup of your... Louis cuts me off again. "No backup, I need it now. Just format. Besides, you are just gonna overcharge me again like you always do." And he hangs up. I was gonna tell him I don't charge for backups. So I just do it. Put the hard drive back in and format the whole thing. Not back up the year's business documents and spreadsheets he would most definitely need. And I knew for a fact those were not backed separately like I recommended. So about an hour later, Louis gets his computer, pays up, and I am out of there. He doesn't realize he's missing all that important stuff until 2 days later. It was a fun call, and I never worked with him again. Wow, yeah, Louis does sound like a charming guy. I don't know why his other tech ghosted him. Yes, I would like to see a menu. Not my story, it's my friend's. One day, he was at a restaurant with girlfriend, and she had ordered a chef salad. Then, when it came out, it was clear to both my friend and his girlfriend that what she had received was not a chef salad, but a Caesar salad. So, my friend calls over the waiter and tells them that they ordered a chef salad, and the waiter looked at them a little confused and said, "That is a chef salad." My friend reacted more confused than the waiter and said, "What? That is not a chef salad." The waiter told them that it was once again, and they go back and forth for a while. Then the waiter got tired of it, so he finally said, "Would you like to see a menu and order something else?" Then my friend said, "Yes, I would like to see a menu." The waiter walked off and came back with a menu and handed it to my friend. And then he tried to take the salad back, but my friend said, "Hold on, don't take it back yet." My friend then flipped the menu to the salads, found the chef salad, and began reading the ingredients to the waiter. The waiter then walked to the back and came back a few minutes later with a chef salad. He was right. Many years ago, I got a programming job for a very new oil and gas automation company. They were the company that O&G companies would hire to build the SCADA system for their wells. I had heard of the owner from other people in the industry as being interesting to work with, but if they had come outright and said he was insane, that would have saved me some trouble. I was the only SCADA programmer in the office, and as such was incredibly busy with our clients. I was also the only other woman than the receptionist. Being in a male-dominated industry had never bothered me. I used to go to well sites and got used to seeing weird stuff on the walls. I've been out of the industry for over 10 years, so I don't know if they've cracked down on that, but I doubt it. But people would allow me to do my job. The owner of this company, however, treated me like his secretary. He'd expect me to get him coffee, make appointments, etc., all while continuing to do my real job. The last straw was the day he berated me in earshot of a client for failing to pick up his dry cleaning, even though I had just spent the last 4 hours on the phone trying to troubleshoot why a well wasn't talking to the SCADA system. Aside, it turned out it was on fire and no one knew because it was so remote. I had managed to last a month before I finally gave my 2 weeks notice. Honestly, I could have just walked out, but I wanted to be nice and help him train someone to take my place before I left, so our clients weren't left in the lurch. When I told him I was leaving, he went ballistic. He yelled that he wanted nothing to do with me ever again and to leave his office that minute because he didn't want to be in the same room for even a second. We would never work together again and I'd regret leaving. He was still yelling when I turned around and left the building without saying anything. Less than a week later, I had a new job with an actual oil and gas company. Fast forward a few months and I loved my job. I was on a very busy team that dealt with many of the company's well sites. We had so much work, in fact, that we had to consider bringing in outside contractors. Because I knew the systems we were dealing with better than anyone on the team, I was put in charge of assisting the department manager in choosing an automation company to bring in. Being one of the larger O&G companies meant we were courted by every support company, so we had a ton of bids to go through for this job. One of the lowest bids was, of course, Insane Ex-Manager's company, so he was called in for a meeting. The department manager was running late that day, so she didn't get a chance to brief me as to whom we were meeting before we walked into the conference room, or I would have given her a heads up. We walked in, and the automation company owner's face lost all colour when he realised who he was meeting with. Before either the department manager or I could so much as say hello, he started sputtering that there was a misunderstanding between us, and he had no hard feelings if I didn't. I told him that I had no hard feelings against him, but in his own words, we would never work together again. He was right. The epilogue. He ended up making enemies of every oil and gas company in the city, and eventually went out of business because no one would hire him. We hired a couple of his ex-employees later on, and they told us some horror stories. I actually got away easy. I really like when they said, oh, the well wasn't getting any access or whatever, it was because it was on fire. I was like, oh, you're just gonna brush past that? Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other videos, then click on screen right now, or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed that video, then please do leave a like, and if you want to submit your own stories, then you can do so by joining the Discord in the top link in the description. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.